Okay. Okay. Good morning, everyone. We're going to get started. Thank you so much for joining us on our webinar today on Zoho Survey. We'll be talking about a brief overview of Zoho Survey and also do a live demonstration and also showcase our new advanced features and also talk about upcoming features as well. So again, thank you so much for joining us. And great. So let's get started. All right, perfect. So my name is Warren. I'm the evangelist for Zoho, and I'm out of the California office here in Pleasanton. And I'm also here with our team from India as well. So welcome everybody, and we're going to talk briefly about what's a Zoho and who we are. If you've never heard of us, we're going to do a quick poll and see if how many of you have actually used Zoho Survey before. And then we're going to talk about the basic features. And then we're also going to dive into a quick showcase of the advanced features and do a demonstration from start to finish of creating, distributing, and reviewing a survey, and then also playing with the advanced features. And then in closing, we'll send out an actual survey dedicated to get your feedback on this webinar, and we'll have this video available online as well. So if you want to view it in the future, we'll have that resource available. And then we'll also share the links to our user guide as well if you have any other questions. And then we're going to dedicate some time at the end for Q&A as well. So if you have any questions during the presentation, please feel free to ask away, and we have a dedicated team answering questions while we're doing the presentation. So again, welcome, and we're glad to have you with us this morning. All right, perfect. So if you've never heard of Zoho before, we've been in business for about over 17 years, and we started in the United States, in New Jersey, and then migrated to California. And we're privately held, we're bootstrapped, we're profitable, and we intend to stay private so that way we can dedicate our company to our customers and not just be accountable to VCs and shareholders. So with that, we've been able to work with over 10 million users all across the world for a variety of apps. And that translates to about 300,000 new users per month. And we're really excited to work with folks from all over the world. In fact, we have a partner network that actually is practically in every country almost. And we work extensively throughout the world. And chances are we have folks tuning into this webinar from virtually every continent except Antarctica. So again, welcome. And Great. So Zoho is really unique in that it has a portfolio of a variety of apps. So today we're just talking about Zoho Survey, but in essence, we have a full portfolio from your basics, from email hosting, email clients to websites to sales apps, marketing apps, support, accounting, HR, IT, and actually a bunch of others that actually wouldn't fit on this one slide, but there's about some 3 or 4 dozen apps. So Zoho has really built a portfolio to be the go-to business suite. So we really want to be there to support small business, medium business, and enterprise customers. All right. So with that, we're going to go into Zoho Survey. All right. So any survey tool itself needs to be able to do three things really, really well. You need to be able to create surveys, distribute them, and review results. And what I'll do right now is let me create a quick poll, and I just want to see how many folks out there have actually used Zoho Survey before. So let's see. Oops. Okay, so you should get a quick prompt right now, and something like this. if you would mind taking a quick poll. I'll share the results in just a second. Okay. Okay, perfect. All right, thank you, everybody. Okay, so we went over creating surveys needs to be easy, and you can collaborate. It's easy to do. We can also distribute surveys here as well. We can review results, and we were just leaving off on you can push your live results to Google Sheet. Okay, sorry about that, everybody. We'll make this presentation available afterwards as well if you need. Okay, next. Perfect. So if you use Chrome, we actually have, we're also listed in the Chrome Web Store, and this is newly launched. So if you want to check this out, this is really easy to use, and it's also free as well. And then for mobile, we have browser optimized editions for uh, other different platforms, tablets, and smartphones. And we also have a native iPad app, so you can use Zoho Survey Builder on that as well for free. Okay, perfect. All right, so now we're going to dive into our advanced features. Great. So you can start with inviting reviewers. So oftentimes, again, surveys aren't typically done in a vacuum, so you can share your surveys, and you can also set a duration. So we'll show you this in a demo. There's a simple drop down. You can select how long, from 1 day to 7 days, and you'll see a list of reviewers as well. And then, so it would look something like this. You can also see comments related to different questions, and that way you get some feedback. And these folks can only review, they won't be allowed to edit. So that would still remain your responsibility and done at your discretion. Okay, next we can actually share surveys with other collaborators. So again, surveys aren't done in a vacuum, so this is useful if you're working with multiple folks. And we'll show you how to do this as well in the demo. But this is just a quick screenshot of what it looks like. And our next advanced feature is our email triggers. And this is particularly useful to for a couple different use cases. So let's say if the survey is completed, you want a notification. So we can set that up. That way, oftentimes, for example, we have our Zoholics conferences, and sometimes I don't know when feedback comes in, especially if folks are procrastinating and they take a month or two to provide their feedback. So sometimes I don't check it, and it's helpful when I get a prompt and I realize that there's feedback to look at. So that's particularly useful in that case. So we could set this up. You can send a simple thank you email, or put that in the subject line here. And this is what it'll look like. And we can also set a if-then clause. So we can set a rule. So we can make this question specific as well. So if a question answered a certain way, let's say it was giving negative feedback. So you can have an email trigger to let you know that, hey, someone provided a very certain response, particularly negative, and you probably need to address that right away, since negative feedback is spread much faster and much more powerful than positive feedback. So that's a nice thing to set up. Our next advanced feature is translation. So this is great, particularly for countries that are working besides with just English, though English is quite popular in the business world. It's nice to have the flexibility to work in other languages, obviously. So we'll just go under later in the demo. We'll show you go under advanced options, go to translate survey, and you just select your target language, and it will give you the original text as well as a translation. So if you have actually some knowledge of the translated language, you can still customize it a little bit. And if you have someone in your organization that can take a look at this, that's a great way to just double check and make sure translation is um, intelligible. And great, so this is what it'll look like. And then when you create multiple options, your users can select their appropriate language. Okay, perfect. So next we have the tried and true uh, way of printing surveys. So you can print out your surveys and get back to pen and paper. And it's a never fail option. So that's easy to do under advanced options. We also have the ability to export to PDF as well. And we also have an offline option that we'll mention as well in the demo. Perfect. So next we also have custom variables, and this has been highly in demand. And what this is this basically eliminates the need to fill out certain fields, such as name, email, maybe a different variable that of your choice. And this will fill that out in advance for you, particularly if it's coming from a known list, maybe using a campaign tool like Zoho Campaigns or MailChimp. So we'll show you this in our demo and how to set this up. So you'll have something like an access link like this in black, and then we'll just add this tag at the end, and this will place this email in the email field instead. And then the report will look different as well. So you'll see this in blue, and then the other responses will be in black. So you'll know which part was triggered by the custom variable and what part wasn't. So we'll show that what that looks and feels like in a demo. As we mentioned earlier, we have offline surveys as well, and this is particularly useful when you don't have internet access. Obviously, we use this at trade shows. So what you do is you enable offline access. You're going to create a password, and this will be useful for authenticating who you are and uploading your results after. And it's basically going to give you a offline link that you'll just have ready on your browser, particularly your phone or your iPad, and you just have it ready, and people can fill out their surveys. And once you get back online, it's going to push the results with their password back online. Okay, perfect. So again, if you're just joining us, welcome. Please feel free to ask questions during this presentation. We'll have a live Q&A section at the end as well. And for many folks out there, a lot of people use Google Apps, and we're integrated very tightly with Google Apps. You can benefit for single sign-on with Google Apps, and particularly for Zoho Survey, you can push your results to Google Sheet, and you can view the live feedback that way, and then you can create your own report and play with it. Okay, perfect. So we're going to jump into our demo. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask away. We have our team answering questions while I'm doing this presentation. Okay, so great. So let's go into Zoho Survey. And once you log in, you'll see that I have a couple different surveys already listed here. As we mentioned, we use this extensively for our Zoholics conferences. And if you've never heard of Zoholics, let me just throw a quick mention here. We have conferences dedicated to our business apps. Coming up in about 3 or so weeks, we have accounting and HR. And this is tailored for our accounting apps, finance apps, and HR apps. We just finished productivity and collaboration, sales and marketing, Zoho Creator for developers. We finished our roadshow tour in the US and Europe, and that'll be starting again in the spring. So if you're curious for live events, you can always go to Zoholics and you can see what's cooking. But yes, we use those to gather feedback, as you can see. And yep, so that's what we use it for internally. And so off the bat, we have My Surveys. We have the button for creating surveys. We have a couple filters here. We see surveys that are owned by me, shared by me, drafts, published, closed, last created, the trash can. A couple times I deleted surveys on accident. So for example, let's delete something pretty important like our sales and marketing survey with 100 responses. We're going to delete this, and if I need to recover it, I just go to the trash can and restore. Yep. So that's our views, and then we'll go over the other parts here. But for now, let's actually look at creating a survey, and let's get started there. All right. So here we have our blank survey option, and this is a clean slate. We have our templates. We have great built-in templates already. So if you want to just get started off the bat, you can start off a template and then customize your questions from there. And so they're already built in a couple different categories, and you can just take a look at that and see what's particularly useful for you. And you can also build with existing surveys. So if you do event production like myself, it's pretty handy to just duplicate the same type of event dedicated survey. So that's what we've done before. And for now, let's start with an existing template. So let's just pick one at random. Let's say client service feedback. So we can see a quick preview of what that looks like. And if these questions aren't quite what you're looking for, you can go to the next one. Let's say we're going for website feedback, and maybe that's the right fit. Maybe realize, hey, you know what? I don't see what I really need. Let's start off a blank survey. So we'll do that. So we're going to create an actual survey that we'll send you later today. So we'll say advanced features feedback. Perfect. So now we have our prompt for what type of questions we would like to have. Notice we have many different options, and we have multiple choice. We have a rating scale. We can do a ranking. We have a single text box. We have an essay area, numeric text box, email text box, a star rating, a matrix option, rating scale, star rating, matrix choices, matrix choice for rating skills, um, and then image type question, calendar box, a drop down, full name text box, or a header, or we can also copy from another survey. So let's start off with a header, and let's just say something like, let's say we'll have something like, welcome to the Zoho Survey, advanced features, sorry. Okay, so we'll have this, and then we'll say thank you for joining us at our webinar today. Great, so we'll save that, and now we have a nice header. And we can also notice this is page one. We can create multiple pages. We can introduce question logic. So if they answer in a certain way, that can send them to the appropriate question. We can also do page logic as well. So if for example, if we want to segregate our feedback for gentlemen and ladies respectively, we can do that. If you want to do that for different regions, we can do that as well. And the benefit of having logic is that you're going to ask the right question to the right person. And that's really important when you're trying to gather feedback. Okay, great. So we have this. So let's look at some other questions we would like to ask you. Let's do multiple choice. Let's see. What survey tools? Actually, let's do single text box. Let's see. What survey tools? Okay, let's use multiple choice. What survey tools have you used before? Zoho Survey, and we'll add another choice so people can write in what they've used before. So notice in here we can see if we can want this answer to be this question to be mandatory. Personally, I find these very annoying, and it just serves to aggravate a lot of folks. So we found that it was useful to not have this triggered. If you do, at least don't make everything in the survey mandatory. That just gets get really annoying, and people usually not they usually don't fill out the survey that way. But here we can customize what kind of display format we would like. If you like 2 columns, 3 columns, horizontal, or just 1 column. We can look at some predefined choices for answers, so you don't have to fill out this every time. So we could say, for example, agree or disagree, and it'll populate that for you right off the bat. So for now, we'll leave this as Zoho Survey, and we can also introduce other variables as well. So if you want to play with that. And let's say this was not the correct question type, you can just change question types right here, and it gives you the most popular one. So most commonly we're using multiple choice, drop down, or a rating scale. So for now, we'll save this, and oops. Okay, let's see, let's change down. Let's see, let's change this to, let's change this question back to, would you like to try, what survey tools have you? Let's list another one just in case. Okay, perfect. So now we have our options. Let's do a quick preview and see how that looks. Okay, advanced features feedback, welcome Zoho survey, here's our header, and here's our question, and here we can specify something else. Okay, great. So let's jump back, and let's add our next question. Okay, so let's see. Let's have a drop down now. Where is our drop down? Okay. Were you satisfied? Okay, that's actually it's a rating. Actually, a star rating. How satisfied were you with the quality of today's webinar on Zoho surveys overview and advanced features? And we'll make this out of 10 stars and give you folks a chance to vote on that. So just kind of what that'll look like is you can just highlight how many stars appropriately. Perfect. Okay. Okay, great. So next, let's say let's say we want to find out what other topics that are of interest to you, and we'll make a essay area, and we'll say, are there any specific content areas or topics that you would like to see presented in a future webinar? And then we'll let folks fill that out. Great. And then let's say let's just have another essay box. Any suggestions for upcoming features or comments to the Zoho survey team? And we'll save this. Okay, great. So with our questions set up, let's take a quick preview again. So here we have our selections here. We have our star rating. We have our essay box, and great. So looks okay so far. We can just preview this for PC and Mac. Let's look at what the tablet would look like. Okay, it's okay. iPhone. We'll have to get this tweaked for iPhone 6. But yeah, well, it's not bad. Okay. So what else we can do is, let's say we want to insert a question in between these two questions. We can just click the insert question function, and it'll throw it right there. We can also copy questions. We can delete them. We can move questions. So if we wanted to move the last question to the top, we'll click move and slide it into the appropriate slot. And vice versa, we can put it back there as well. Okay, great. So if we had a larger survey to do, we could add a different page, we got a second page description, and we'll get the same option as well. If we had more questions, we could add question logic as well. So if a question was answered in a certain way and it was equal to or not equal to a certain response, it can prompt uh, to show a different question or continue to a different page. So again, if you're segregating your feedback by maybe geography, by a certain characteristic, maybe if one's tailored to the gentlemen versus the ladies, this is a great way to do that. Okay, perfect. So we're going to now look at some other options. Let's add a nice closing header really quick. So let's go back to here and insert a last question. Okay, so thank you so much for your feedback. Okay, perfect. So we're done here. And before we publish this, let's look at how we can play with some other settings to tweak this a little bit. So let's say we want to change this page title and just be like, change it from page 1 to feedback. So we can edit our page names here. Let's go to our settings. We can browse and add a logo. We can change the survey title itself. We can add some navigation options here. If you have a longer survey, you can add a progress bar, but don't make the survey too long. We can enable question numbering. We can enable CAPTCHA to prevent different bots. We can customize what our buttons are listed as. And we can change the default language. We can turn off this footer here as well. And then you can also customize the closed survey text here. And if you want this to just end here or redirect to a different page, you can specify that. So if you want this to feed back to your website or a different page, that's easily done. So you can customize that here. And great, so let's look at what else is possible. So we mentioned that we can use different themes, and let's just pick a nice one here. So let's just say we picked this nice wood grain one. So let's get a quick preview. And you know, that's not bad. Looks nice. We see it's powered by Zoho Survey. Advanced features. This salmon looking thing looks a little crazy. But let's say we want to edit this. We can change the text. If you want to be really goofy, we can make it Comic Sans. But let's not do that. We can select which part you want to change, what font size, and you can customize the color. So if you have a certain color scheme for your brand, you can reflect that here. So let's change that to a nice blue, or maybe yellow. Okay, that looks terrible. Okay, great. So we can change to a different theme if you don't like that. Just kind of go through what's available. And if you want to customize the theme again, our editor is quite extensive, as we mentioned. And now we can customize the wallpaper, the header, the form itself, text fields, buttons, and practically every piece. So you can you can employ a certain pattern. You can use your own choices here. Again, we have the full color palette available. You can use your own image here and just upload that here. We can tweak the font as we've seen. We can also play with the borders. So use a certain type of look and feel, maybe a different color as well. Let's go for like a midnight blue-ish kind of thing. Test one. We can save our custom theme. And yep. And if we want to go back to customization, we can play with our shadows. We can look at our alignment options as well and really tweak the look and feel. Okay, so Great. So we've looked at creating our own custom themes or using existing theme. So you can really play with that look and feel. And next we have our integration options here, as we've mentioned. If you use Zoho CRM, that's great, and we can use these integration options, and we can push these survey responses to a certain module, and we're drastically improving this integration and making it much more powerful. So you can use Zoho CRM directly to generate surveys, to send them, and to also view important analytics as well. So right now, you can just push the responses to a particular module of your choice. And if you use Google Docs, you can use this, and this will create a sheet, and it will push the results to that Google Sheet. So you can also use an existing one as well, or you can just use a new one. So let me just show what that looks like. Okay. Okay, great. So here's Google Sheet, and you'll see that the columns match our questions, and if you want to run your own filter or create your own report, you can easily do that here. Okay, great. So pretty straightforward. And notice here we have a button for removing integration, and if you turn this off, then the live feed will not be happening. But as long as the integration is going, you're going to be able to see live results in real time. Okay, perfect. Great, so that's our integration options, and we'll be expanding this drastically in the future as well, so stay tuned. And next, let's look at our deployment options. So we can publish this. Once we publish this, we'll see a lot more, but for now, let's just look at, we have a publish option. We can set up also restrictions. So we like to set, we advise you as a best practice to definitely use a cutoff date. So you're not getting miscellaneous information 2 years after your desired feedback window. So I'd set this probably with a pretty generous timeline. You can also set a maximum response count. So for example, our office can only have 400 attendees, so having 4,000 responses wouldn't make sense. So you can always set this max response count. And for this webinar, we're going to set this at 200. We can prevent multiple responses as well. And we can also allow users to update as well. So if you have a change of heart, we would probably want to know that. No problem. So we'll save that for now. And if you want to make your survey exclusive, you can enable password protection, and you can customize the different prompts here. So for now, we'll just leave this off. And now we're going to publish our survey. Okay, perfect. So now we have our link, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this to my fellow organizers, and I'm just going to ask them to fill this out really quickly, and I'll do so myself. Just want to give you guys some a quick snapshot of what this will look and feel like, and we'll say Zoho Survey. It's awesome. And we're going to save this, and we got a nice thank you, and bam. So if we go to our reports, we should start seeing results pouring in. So we just saw mine that I put in here. We see what survey tools have used before. And here, once we get into the reports, we have a couple different options. We can look at trends that are happening, day-wise, week-wise, month-wise, quarter-wise. So this is new. If you have been using Zoho Survey for a while, this is really handy. And we can also filter for responses, look at exclusively today's or completed. And we can also export our report here. As we mentioned, we can share a report as well. We can create a certain filter. You can choose if you want to share just a summary or individual reports. We like to share both. Again, you can select which duration you would like, or all of them. If you want text responses to be shared, you can again apply a filter, and you can create your permissions. So if you use any of our other Zoho products, especially Zoho Docs, you'll see that the permissions options here are very similar. You can share this with a private user with their email login. You can share it within the organization, so everyone with the corporate domain can access it. You can share it publicly or with a password. So very straightforward. And this is also a new feature. This is our report scheduler. And you can schedule a report on a regular recurring basis. So if you want this to be sent to you every day at 8 a.m., you can easily create that. So super handy. So daily, weekly, monthly, and you can employ the use of trends and automatically schedule a trend report and see how things are going. So super handy, especially if you're a manager and you just want everything automated and you don't want to worry about it. You just want it to show up in your inbox. So that's a great way to take care of your report. Okay, great. So let's go back to our first report here, and we can just look at our data again. Let me just refresh this. Okay, there we go. My compatriots have filled this out, and okay, great. So we're looking at what everyone's looking at, how satisfied we are today's webinar, um, what future topics, how do I set an email trigger. Oh, okay, great. So good things. Okay, great. All right, so great. So that's how we do the basics. So now let's go into looking at our other options. Okay, so let's let's look at showing you how to invite a reviewer. So let's just create a quick survey. Let's look at an existing survey. Let's just pull that in, and let's show you how to invite a reviewer. So we'll go to advanced options, and we can invite someone. So again, here, as we mentioned earlier, we can create a duration from 1 day to 7 days, specify who they are, and you'll see who the reviewer is. So that's really easy to do. Just go to advanced options again and set that up. Next, we can also share surveys. So if you want to collaborate as well and give people a little more permissions and just be able to see and view, you can enter their names and they'll populate here as well. Okay, next we have custom variables. So here we can create a custom variable. So we could create a name. So for example, let's say you wanted email ID. Okay, so here we can specify emails. This way, the custom variable will automatically prompt for the email. So we can have that employed. And now we're going to, let's publish this really quick and show you how this works. Yes, we like the thing. Okay, so now we're going to add email ID equals 1. Oops. Oh, whoops, wrong URL. Let's try it again. So get to your correct URL, add a question mark, and then put in your custom variable, and then let's say we just wanted. Okay, so now it's going to fill this out. Okay, so just submit. Get you a nice thank you. Let's go to the report. And we should see Um, okay, so populate right here. Let's pretend that worked. So yeah, it will show up right here. Okay, I think I rushed that a little bit, but yeah. So custom variable will show up here. So you'll see that it's colored differently than the other questions. So it's C1 versus Q1, which is question one. And as this shows up, it could be email ID, first name, last name. If you're using a campaign tool such as MailChimp or Zoho Campaigns, you can use your merge tags and you can get this relevant data start populating here. Okay, so great. So yeah, custom variables have been in high demand, so we're proud to get that available for you. Next, we can also have email triggers. So we can, again, our use case here is once the email is complete, we'll receive a nice email. And if we also wanted to add a condition, so let's say if someone answered our, on a scale of 1 to 10 question and it responded with 1, we want to know why. Or let's say if it was less than 5, that's pretty bad. We want to know what happened, and then we could set up this email trigger to let us know that this happened, and you can take prompt action. So again, email triggers will really help automate everything from survey completion notifications to letting you know what happened with certain questions. Great, so that's our email trigger, and let's look at our next advanced option. So translate survey. Again, we're really excited to offer multiple languages. This isn't everything yet, but we're getting there. So let's say we're picking German. And if there's any German viewers here, Guten Tag. And let's just get that translated. Stinking, stinking, stinking. As it's thinking, I have a nice repertoire of bad jokes to tell. So let's start off the first one. Two neutrons walk into a bar, and the bartender goes, "For you, no charge." Okay, let's try that again. German, 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 German. Hmm, taking a while. Let's pick maybe a shorter survey. Okay, so now we just translated that. Let's go back to our builder. Okay, so we did German, and now we can select English or German. And my German's not that good. I can't tell if this is. Let's say you weren't happy with this text, and what we can do is we can tweak. Uh, we can edit this. So we'll go back to our translate survey function, and oops. Okay, so let's say you wanted to add additional languages, and German was not just one of them. So let's say Spanish. So we can translate that, and here we have our Spanish one. And if we go back to edit, we're looking at the actual text. So we can view the original, and we can also look at the translation. So if you want to change this, you can just make adjustments here. So that way you can control the translation. Okay, perfect. All right, so let's look at our other advanced options. We have a print survey, and you can specify if you want what language you want to print in, and if you also want to export as a PDF. And let's look at our deployment options. As usual, we have a web link, and you can share that through different social media outlets. We can embed this as well. So here's the raw source code for HTML. If you want iframe, JavaScript, pop-up HTML, or a QR code. So here's the QR code, save this image, and then do whatever you need with that. Okay, great. And then here we have an offline survey. So Again, this might be a little confusing, but we basically will create a password, and let's make that password. And what it's going to do is it's going to give us an offline URL. So this requires a little prep work. So once you get this URL, have this available, say on your iPad, for example, or your smartphone, or your computer, and folks can fill out the survey still with it offline. And then when you get back online, you're going to log in with that password, authenticate who you are, and then you're going to upload the results. So we're not going to do that right now since we want to maintain internet connection for our webinar. So we're going to skip that. And looking at our other deployment options for sending out our survey, you can use Zoho campaigns, obviously, and also you can use MailChimp. So we highly encourage you to check out Zoho campaigns. And the secret sauce for Zoho in general is that our apps are integrated. So if you're using campaigns and survey already, you're probably using our CRM and you're leveraging the same database of leads, accounts, and contacts. And that's really useful. Okay, great. We also have social media here integrated. We have our restrictions, as we mentioned earlier, password protection, and if we can also close our survey. So if you want to manually close it, that's how you would do it. Okay, great. So we hope that's a great overview, and we want to get back to our presentation really quick and talk about pricing. And whoops, okay, great. So for Zoho Survey, we have a couple different options. Like all of our apps, we have a freemium model, and all of our apps have a basic free edition, and we also have paid editions that scale up in functionality. So what you can do is just let's go to our pricing page and compare. So if you want to compare plans and features, you can talk with our team and see which plan fits you the best. And particularly if you're a larger organization, you want to clarify how many responses you can work with, and you can see what functions we have. If you're looking at our enterprise edition, you get the ability to add more users and get some help there. Okay, perfect. All right. So other than that, let's look at some upcoming features. We have multiple collectors. This is actually available now, but we're still creating the help pages and the user guide. So this will be available by next week. So effectively, you can get responses from different users, and you can bring together results from different sources. So basically, you're going to have one report, and you can run your same filters. And this is useful in the context of, let's say, you get a certain survey from your Twitter group, or from Twitter, from Facebook. Um, and you can bring them together but still be able to apply filters. Great, so multiple collection here is available. We also are working on multiple end pages, and this is available next month. So based on responses from the user, they will get a custom end page. So this is the final landing page at the end. And right now you can direct that to just one page, and there's no dynamic element to it, but this will create that. So this will be coming out. As we mentioned, report scheduling is super handy as well. Let's see. And then you'll be able to host your own survey at your own domain, and you can white label it. So that's coming up as well soon, and that'll be out next year. Zoho Survey and CRM is going to have a great integration, and basically you can do surveys from within CRM, and that will be really powerful in using the automation aspect of CRM, and you can view responses directly from there, including analytics as who sent it, who responded, and some other data that will be really nice. And then you can also generate automatic tasks and events and notes based on survey responses. So this will be very, very exciting. And then so after this presentation concludes, we'll send out the upload link, the presentation itself, our user guide, and our contact information. So if you have any questions about Zoho Survey, you can reach out to us. And other than that, thank you so much for your time. And we're going to open up now for some live questions with our team. And again, my name is Warren, and thank you for investing 1 hour of your time to learn about Zoho Survey and check out our new features. So great. So if you want to now ask any questions, we'll be happy to answer. And here's our contact email. If you want to reach out to us, it's just feedback@zohosurvey.com. Okay, perfect. So let me just unmute my team. Okay, so my team's unmuted. So yeah, just let us know, and if you have a long question, we can unmute you as well. Okay, so all right, great. So let's look at some questions here. Elaine Wang, we have a question if we can combine templates with different surveys. I don't think we can combine templates currently. Is that?
Yeah, you can combine the templates while creating new surveys.
Oh, okay. There we go. Okay, great. And then Peter Coy, if you can let us know which feature you're asking about. We have a question from Tywin. Is there a way to do more than one trigger for email? So yes, you can
Yeah,
set
this
up.
can be done. You
Right.
can set up more than one email trigger for a survey.
Yep. And we have a question from Renee Betcher. How do I enter data for employees that fill out the paper survey? You could do it
You can,
manually if you would like it to show up in a report, or just treat that as a separate group, just due to the fact that it was a paper survey. So you can still enter it manually yourself. Hi, Elaine. You have a question about how to combine templates? Send us an email and we can chat with you offline. Okay. So modules that show. We have a question from Peter. So modules show that in the contact record. Peter, if you want to send us an email, we'll talk more about our CRM integration with you on a one-on-one basis. We have a question from Charles. Are you planning to have an integration with Zoho Creator?
currently, we don't have any plan to integrate Zoho Creator.
Okay. Sorry about that, Charles. Not yet. Okay. Hi, Carlos. You have a question about is it possible to integrate Zoho CRM with Zoho CRM? Okay, yes. We do have a current integration, and it's getting much more robust. So we do have a current one. So if you go into the integration tab of Zoho Survey, you'll see that events. Oh, whoops. Where is it? Oh, integration. Here we go. So yes, so you can integrate now. So you can push your survey responses to a certain module. If you have any questions, Carlos, send us an email. We'll be happy to chat with you online. Hi,
Yeah, we can
Peter.
try the Porter version.
Hi, Peter. Yeah, send us an email, and we'll get you taken care of. Thanks so much.
Send email to support@zohosurvey.com so that we will provide your partner version of Zoho Survey.
Yep. All right, great. We have a question from Egan. Are there plans to create a help text for each question and survey? So questions can stay in short form, but there will be a help text if the user hovers over the question, or at least an embedded help text under the question.
Now this is under our roadmap. We will do it.
Okay, there you have it. So it's coming, but Not 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 immediately, but this will be available uh, at some point. Thanks, Egan. We'll be repeating this demonstration. What's the time difference up? Oh, okay, yeah, no worries, dog. We're gonna send this recording out to everybody so you can view it at your own leisure, and we're gonna make this a recurring webinar, at least at a monthly basis. Mhm. So stay tuned. I'll jot down your. I'll find your. I'll find your email later, and we'll send this to you. Okay, and if there's no other questions, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us again. Please jot down our email. We'd love to get your feedback, and we'll send you a survey about our survey webinar, and we'll send you the uploaded link for today's webinar as well, and we'll send you a link to our user guide so you can look at our new advanced features at your own leisure. And we'll bring you this webinar again next month, and we'll showcase any future features and talk about what else is coming up. Okay, again, thank you everyone again. Thank you so much for our team in India staying up very late, and we appreciate everyone's time. So thank you again, and we'll catch you guys
If,
next time.
if you have any questions, you can write to support@zohosurvey.com. We'll reply you.
Yep. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.